Make some noise for Mr. Joseph Torres.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Look, before I even get started, I feel like I have to say that I'm 40 years old. Otherwise, everyone's just going to think I'm some kid that's been 15 for 25 years. You know, like some fairy godmother casts a spell on me and she's like, you will always have a baby face and decades of disappointment in your eyes. You will never age, just get fat. And I'm a fat guy, if you haven't noticed. I've been fat my whole life. I think it's because growing up, my parents never taught me about nutrition. You know, like up until recently, I thought trans fats were just big girls in tight clothes. I'm a big fan. Jeff Corliss, world famous skydiver, he said that every time he jumps, he expects to die. That's how I feel every time I have a piece of cake. Morbid obesity is the most extreme sport. We're already sponsored by Mountain Dew. You see a fat person do cocaine, just give them a gold medal. I promise you, they have an athlete's heart. I'm trying to make some changes in my life, you know, so right now I'm doing all my shopping at Whole Foods, even though everything's more expensive there. I just like to believe I'm making the people there think their diets aren't gonna work. Then I'll walk up to some hot girl with an eating disorder and I'll be like, you'll always look thin next to me, baby. All right, Harvard. That's what I like to hear. I'll do that joke like in Madison or in Chicago, and people will laugh at the first part of the joke, but then they don't laugh, or they even groan at the second part. And it amazes me the way people prioritize their empathy, because obesity, anorexia, bulimia, it's all addiction. You know, and a lot of people are able to set aside sympathy for other addicts, but they have no sympathy for fat people whatsoever. You know, but like if you think about it, a junkie in recovery doesn't still have to have heroin for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Just think about it a little bit, that's all I ask. You know? Here's the thing, guys, like I live in rural Wisconsin, okay? And in a 10-minute radius of my house, there are 5 McDonald's, but only 1 grocery store. You know? So I don't think it's my fault I have a third favorite McDonald's. It might be my fault I have a favorite McDonald's manager, but like, if that's gonna be the Big Mac that kills me, I want Carlos to make it. All right. Now, as Nathan said, I'm a local boy. You know, I grew up in McHenry, and thank you. McHenry is a lot like Harvard. I think McHenry is a lot like Harvard in that it's like the suburb of a farm. Pretty big farm. Now, I graduated from Johnsburg High School. I went to McHenry County College. I stayed off campus. By staying off campus, I mean I rented a room in a trap house in Wonder Lake. All right. I'm a small town boy. I think it's weird that like we only think there's depravity in big cities, you know? Because I grew up around here, and before I even got to high school, or before I even graduated high school, I saw a young girl give up a child for adoption before she got to high school. I saw a 16-year-old drug dealer light a handful of $100 bills on fire. And I even saw a young mom pass a bong to her 10 or 11-year-old child. You know, I thought a lot about the decisions that I made in my life that brought me to that moment. I'm sitting there in this box that could be described as more ashtray than apartment. I'm staring across the garbage at the parents who look like 2 Sublime songs come to life. I remember the mom's arm was broken and she had a lime green cast on her arm. And I focused on the cast as she hands the bong and the lighter to her child, who grabs it from her like he's done it 1,000,000 times before. And in that instant, I immediately think to myself, I'm never gonna sell them weed again. All right. I'm a second-generation Midwesterner. My mom also grew up here in McHenry County, Illinois, and my dad grew up in Las Minas de Colorado, afuera de Sombrerete, Zacatecas, which is in Kansas. I'm lying. My dad is Mexican, my mom is American, which is why when some people look at me, they're like, yeah, he's not really brown, he's not really white, he's definitely a green card. You guys don't want to laugh at that one? All right. I'm a single man. Lately I've been getting real jealous when I see like scrawny hipster dudes with tall goth girlfriends, so I just pretend like they're lesbians. Yeah, I didn't even have a chance in the first place, you know? It's because I love goth girls, you know? I really do love goth girls. My friends are always trying to set me up with goth girls. A couple months back, my friend got me a blind date with a vegan Wiccan. Yeah. If you're not familiar with Wicca, it's the religion you join if you were molested as a child. All right, I did not know my audience. A lot of you guys had some creepy uncles, huh? All right. Honestly, it wasn't even the religion thing that bothered me, it was the vegan thing, you know? Like, immediately after I ordered my food, almost as if it was scripted, she looked at me and gave me a dirty look, and she's like, I can't believe you, that's terrible. Would you eat your own dog? And I was like, no, but I'd try yours. All right, thanks so much, guys. I'm Joseph Christopher.